welcome to the plantation. I'm your host, Master Lou. Yes, I've written an article not too long ago about Fadiel Adams, the member of parliament from the party called the National Colored Congress. Now, I ask myself this question, colored people, come on, man, make this make sense. If you call this your representative of all your colored interests and your specific interests that represents the colored community of the Western Cape, by all means, people, please check your brain cells. Have we gotten that low as individuals that we got to a point that we elect people that have no way of etiquette, no way of conducting themselves, and to make matters worse, no way of talking? The same politician from Mitchell's Plain that called the opposition leader Botox Beck. Now, look, I'm sorry, that sounds hilarious, but it's fucking rude, man. As a member of parliament, how on earth can you call another person Botox Beck? I think maybe the only individual that needs Botox here is Mr. Fadiel Adams himself. I think you need to Botox your brain, sir, because your conduct is impeccable. Your conduct is very dodgy and also very strange. Now let's understand what transpired and led to the actual arrest of Mr. Fadiel Adams, which is of course the leader of the National Colored Congress. Let's see what is this all about. So, on the 7th of May, Fadiel Adams, he appears in the Pinetown Magistrates Court. Now this is in KwaZulu-Natal, of course. Now, the state accused him of masquerading as if he was conducting official parliamentary oversight duties while visiting alleged criminals behind bars. Now, at this point, I do not know who's actually the real gangster here or who carries themselves more like a gangster. It's either our gaslighting president Cyril Buffalo Ramaphosa or the National Colored Congress leader, which is the defiant rhinoceros parliamentary leader Fadiel Adams. Either or, you choose. You can have a president as a gangster because he puts money in his couch, or you can have a defiant colored leader or a colored representative in public service and public office that acts like he's a defiant rhinoceros. You choose which are the best gangsters for you. So, in relation to that, the prosecutors obviously, according Adams unlawfully visited Westville Correctional Center on the 2nd of November 2024 as well as the 24th of January 2025 without proper authorization. Now, the state further alleged that he secretly recorded interviews with two awaiting trial inmates. Now, these two awaiting trial inmates, very interesting. One of the accusers involved in a high profile case against Ndiso Makaka in a murder case, and of course, these proceedings are still ongoing and they were still active and sub judice. Now, the allegations obviously became more serious when one considers Mr. Adams' conduct allegedly misrepresenting himself as being on official parliamentary business in order to gain access to the prison facilities. So, this is what your so called leader of the National Colored Congress did. He then basically pretended as if he's on official parliamentary duties, and then in return, this will then permit him access to the prison facilities. How disgusting. You're a public service official and you actually defy the Constitution. You also flout the law because you do not have specific authorization to enter a prison facility, even as a public service official, without proper authorization. Now, ask yourself this question. Is this the person that you want to represent your interests, colored people? I doubt that. So, prosecutors say that he obviously recorded this without consent or knowledge of the inmate's legal representatives, and also he secured SAP's blue light escorts between King Shaka International Airport as well as the correctional facility. How interesting. So, before his arrest, Adams' legal team they rushed over to the Western Cape High Court in an attempt to obviously force authorities to hand over the J50 warrant, arguing that police were manufacturing false claims and that he was a flight risk. Now, according to this, the J50 warrant was out and his warrant of arrest was being issued. Now, Adams' defense and argument is that this is a political smear campaign and plus also the information which is, or so called allegedly, he deemed it as being false claims, stating that he is a flight risk. Now, before the state could comply with the official court directive, Adams was subsequently arrested at his parliamentary residence. Now, Kikaba asked this particular question: lock me up. I won't apologize to that. POES. Very it's a very disgusting word. And definitely, as a parliamentarian, you should not be saying shit like that. So I will say this again verbatim. Tikaba asked, lock me up. I will not, or I won't apologize to that. POES. That is what Adams' utterances were. The Equality Court, of course, they found that allegedly Mr. Fadiel Adams did discriminate against the city manager who discriminated against them, which is himself. I don't know what he's referring to as us. I'm assuming him and his constituency, of course. And then in response to that, Adams then said, fuck the court. Now, this is according to IOL on the 17th of May 2026. Now, if this is the conduct from a public service official, because he's now being held to account for his actions and his conduct, and also interfering in police and detective work and work that you're not supposed to be meddling in the first place, because it's a high profile murder case that is currently still continuing. This is a type of people that many colored people probably would enjoy and would want to rubber stamp as a representative of their interest. And I ask myself this question: the same courts, because I say this without fear and without favor, if this is the caliber of the so called colored politicians who expect communities around the Western Cape to rally behind them, then fucking hell no. Fucking hell no. The blind cannot lead the blind. Mr. Fadiel Adams, you're a member of parliament, not some drug dealer or street thug operating on the corners of the Cape Flats. No, no. The very same courts and constitutional institutions that ordinary South Africans depend on for justice and are very, very active about the institutions that we use, which in return are the very same institutions that you openly slander on a public record and in the media. So I tell myself this question: is this actually you as a parliamentary leader, or is this actually you showing us your true colors? And for me, that is completely recklessness. I don't think any colored person in the right sane mind would think of doing anything like this. Allowing someone of this level and this caliber to represent their specific communal interest, provincial interest, municipal interests, as well as national interest. At some point, one needs to wake the fuck up and ask yourself, have we lost the plot or have we gone so low? And is this the best that we can produce as colored people? If Parliament is not for thugs, if Parliament is not a gangster playground for a lot of people to commit crimes and act with impunity, then by all means, I do not see this man as a representative of colored people. In fact, I just see him as another street thug. Maybe he should be given territory and maybe he should go back to dealing and stealing. Anything beyond that, Parliament is not for you. Thank you for watching. Plantation.